Top 5 towns to consider when making a move to Charlotte. My name is Daniel Koumou. This is my daughter Nomi. Say hi, Nomi. And today we will discuss our top 5 towns to consider whether you are planning to relocate to Charlotte or you are already in Charlotte and looking to move outside of the Charlotte city limit. And as a realtor, we get asked what are some of the best towns to consider moving into Charlotte. And I did a video, a TikTok video, a while back giving my top 3 towns to consider while moving to Charlotte. In fact, I had a client told me they made a decision on a town based on that video. Today, I wanted to give you my top 5 towns to consider moving to Charlotte. Alright guys, now let's get the countdown started. Coming on number 5 on my list is the town of Huntersville. Now, Huntersville is one of those oldie but goodie towns. In fact, we used to live in Huntersville ourselves. To give you a little bit of history about Huntersville, Huntersville is the second largest town in Mecklenburg County with roughly 62,000 residents. The median home sales price in Huntersville is about $550,000 and the median household income about $102,000 a year. Now, Huntersville is, depending on where you are in Huntersville, it is about 10 to 15 mile radius to downtown Charlotte, which is about 20 to 30 minute max driving without the traffic on I-77 to downtown Charlotte. Now that we have got that out of the way, let me tell you what we love about Huntersville. For us, it was the culture, a very family oriented town that is well diverse. So everywhere you go in Huntersville, you are welcome with a bubbly smile. And for us, it was just one of those areas that we felt at home. Not to forget Birkdale Village. We used to go there literally every weekend where the wife and I will go on a date. We'll sometimes have the kids play on the park late night where they always have live music. Living in Huntersville, in 10 minutes you have a front row seat to Lake Norman, which is one of the largest lake on the East Coast. For us, Huntersville had it all. The only thing we didn't like about Huntersville, depending on where you are in Huntersville, you are still concerned with the school system. Not only you have to deal with the school system, the other thing that we were struggling with was the traffic of I-77 getting home at times. So those are the 2 cons that we had with living in Huntersville. Other than that, the town of Huntersville, hands down, is one of those best towns to consider. And another positive thing to add to the hat, Huntersville does have a diverse housing option. So not only do you have a lot of settled subdivision, you also do have a lot of new construction going in Huntersville, a lot of new subdivision coming up. So as a homeowner or as one looking for a home, you do have a lot of option in Huntersville compared to some other towns surrounding Charlotte. Moving on with the countdown. Now coming on number 4 on the list is the town of Matthew. I had a client once called Matthew and Huntersville brothers. Yes, both towns have a lot of similarities. Only difference, Matthew is located south of Charlotte with half the population of Huntersville. Only 29,000 residents in Matthews. And distance wise, Matthew is about the same 12 to 15 mile radius to downtown Charlotte, which is about, I would say, 20 minutes drive depending on where you are in Matthew, and 30 minutes drive to Charlotte Douglas Airport. With the median estimated home value at $535 and the median household income of $96,000 a year, Niche.com ranked Matthew one of the best places to live in North Carolina. Not just in Charlotte, in North Carolina. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about what makes Matthew so special. In my opinion, Matthew is known for having that small town vibe with a mature crowd. In fact, I read online the median age for Matthew resident is almost 40 years old. Over 80% of the residents are homeowners. Matthew is also known for having a very live and vibrant downtown where there are a lot of local shops, restaurants, breweries, a lot of activities for families. Literally every weekend there's always something going on in downtown Matthew. We used to go there just to say, relax and enjoy the scenery. A tight community where everybody is friendly, welcoming. In my opinion, downtown Matthew is a place to check when you are in Charlotte or surrounding. And a few setbacks to consider and a few reasons why Matthew falls as number 4 on my list. On my personal opinion, Matthew is known for being very settled, very mature town, and because of that, most of the home and most of the subdivision are somewhat settled and a little bit more mature. So to find a new construction, perhaps you may have to consult with a private custom builder, or maybe go in a higher price point to get into new construction in Matthew. In addition to that, depending on where you are in Matthews, feedback that I've received for some of our past clients, they're still struggling with the school system. So another setback to consider if you are one looking to moving into Matthew. And one last setback that I have noticed about Matthew, in my opinion, Matthew is still not that well diverse. And those are the 3 setbacks that have caused Matthew to fall on number 4 on my list. Coming on number 3 on the list now is a town that had evolved a lot in the last decade. In fact, when we first moved to Charlotte, when somebody mentioned this town to us, we thought it was outside of, off the grid. Yeah, this town now is a place where everybody moving into Charlotte, that's where they are looking into moving to. Number 3 on the list is the town of Waxhaw. And with a population shy of 25,000 residents in 2024, according to Wikipedia, the population of Waxhaw has grown almost 108% from 2010 to 2024. Waxhaw is located south of Charlotte, about 30 miles to downtown Charlotte, 40-minute driving depending on traffic, and 45-minute drive to Charlotte Douglas Airport. So depending on where you are in Waxhaw, you are looking anywhere between 40 to an hour drive to get to inner city of Charlotte or to the airport, Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Only 3 miles from South Carolina state line. So literally you are 10 minutes away from South Carolina. And now let's talk real estate. The median home sales price in Waxhaw is in low 700,000 with a median household income of about 119,000 a year. Waxhaw, compared to the other town, is a little bit higher in the price point and also in the annual household income. And so what is Waxhaw so known for, and why everybody wanted to move to Waxhaw? In my opinion, the one thing that keeps Waxhaw going is the school system. Waxhaw is known for its highly rated school. Cobblestone School is highly ranked. You can look on niche.com, greatschool.org. Most of the websites will give you some of the school ranking. And because of that, you do have a lot of family migrating to Waxhaw. Not only Waxhaw is known for its school system, Waxhaw is also known to be very historic. Dated back in 1700, Waxhaw is the oldest town in Union County. And with such, you do have a lot of popular attraction point of interest, such as the Waxhaw Historic District, the Museum of Waxhaw, and the best part, or the most popular part of Waxhaw, the most attractive part of Waxhaw for family, the Cane Creek Park. Huntersville, Waxhaw has a unique, diverse housing option. A lot of new construction, a lot of new home, a lot of new subdivision, and also you do have some of the settled home, very large home, and very private residence as well too in Waxhaw. You have a lot of gated communities. So overall, Waxhaw is, in sense of housing diversity, Waxhaw has it all, spread of different type of residents in Waxhaw. And just like the other 2 towns, let me give you my cons about Waxhaw. First on my list is the traffic and the distance to Charlotte. We do a lot in downtown Charlotte, and because of that, depending on the time of the day or depending on the day, the distance to Charlotte can range anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour or even more, depending on where you are in Waxhaw. I know majority of the Waxhaw residents hang in South Charlotte, the South Park, the Providence area, rather than coming down to downtown Charlotte. Another thing about Waxhaw you wanted to take in consideration, or that I've noticed, there are 2 sides to Waxhaw. There is the old Waxhaw and the new Waxhaw. The old Waxhaw, just like I said, the old Waxhaw, and the new Waxhaw, just like I said, the new Waxhaw. That's where you see all the new construction, all the new subdivision, and all the new home, almost everything in that newer side of Waxhaw. And the icing on the cake for me is Waxhaw is not affordable. Waxhaw is not for your average Joe. To move into Waxhaw, you have to step your game up. You cannot be one looking for entry-level home, 200, 300,000 to move into Waxhaw. To live in Waxhaw, it costs to live in Waxhaw. So those are some of the setback that I've noticed about Waxhaw. Just up to you now to make your judgment. 3 out of the way, 2 to go. Now, these last two decisions were a little tough, a little difficult to pick between number 1 and number 2 spot. I would say the only difference, the only thing that set both apart to me, and my personal opinion, the reason why I picked number 1 over number 2. In my opinion, my reason for picking number 1 town versus number 2, the town number 1, proximity to Charlotte Douglas Airport, and 2, number 1 town has access to the lake. So because of that, I picked that town as number 1. Now let's talk about number 2. Number 2 is one of those towns that I admire a lot. Yes, we moved close to this town just because of the school system. It is the town that we live in. We do everything. My family do everything in this town. Coming on number 2 on my list is the town of Harrisburg. Now let's talk a little bit about Harrisburg. As you can tell, I'm excited because I know this town. I live in this town and we do everything in this town. Now Harrisburg is located 20 miles southwest of the center city of Charlotte, which is about 30-minute drive to downtown Charlotte. With a population of shy of 20,000 residents, Harrisburg is one of those towns that is still flying under the radar. Why did I say it's still flying under the radar? Harrisburg is the only town in Cabarrus County at the present time still with no apartment complex. Yes, there is no apartment complex in Harrisburg, and most residents here in Harrisburg are homeowners. Now, based on Realtor Property Resource, the estimated median house value in Harrisburg is at $717,000, where the median household income in Harrisburg is shy of $130,000 a year. And what's so special about Harrisburg? Niche.com ranked Harrisburg as the number 1 town in Cabarrus County, number 6 out of 183 suburbs to buy a house in North Carolina, number 9 out of 505 place to raise a family, and number 9 out of 353 place best place for a public school in North Carolina. As Harrisburg is just very well positioned, where you are about 15 miles to the center city of Charlotte, downtown Charlotte, 15 miles or so to the south side, the center south side of Charlotte, the Belmont area, another 15 miles or so to the north side of Charlotte, the Huntersville, Lake Norman area, and having been center where you can get to any of those positions within 20 to 30 minutes, make Harrisburg a very attractive place to be. In addition to that, Harrisburg is, for us, is very diverse. Harrisburg is still growing with a lot of new construction going, a lot of new home, new subdivision coming up. You have a lot of parks for family. You have the Starling Farm, the Harrisburg Park. It's just enough to do around Harrisburg if you're one with family. So Harrisburg fit all those needs for us, and that's one of the reasons why we pick Harrisburg, and that's one of the reasons why we chose to live near Harrisburg. Enough with the goods. With every time there's always something to complain about. There's always something that will set you back. For us, for me, 2 things about Harrisburg. One, we have been here almost 4 years. In the last, I would say 4 years or so, we have been subject to 2 school rezoning. The last one just happened a couple of months ago. 2, because Harrisburg is such a small town, family oriented, everything shut down. By 10 p.m., literally everything shut down. So if you're one that feel like, oh, I need a snack, or I'm hungry, you need to get whatever you need by before 10 o'clock. Past that, almost everything is shut down. The bars, the restaurants, everything is out by 10 o'clock. So those are a few things to consider if you're one that is very active, maybe take in consideration if you're putting Harrisburg on your map. Finally, drum roll. Number 1 town on my list, believe it or not, is the town of Belmont, North Carolina. Yes, Belmont, North Carolina. 5 things about Belmont that I put Belmont on my list. Number 1, the proximity to Charlotte Douglas Airport. Depending on where you are in Belmont, you are 10 to 15 minutes from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. The access to the lake, you have access to Lake Wiley in Belmont. Depending on where you are, you can be on Lake Wiley within 5 to 10 minutes. 3, the school system, highly ranked school system, one of the number 1 school system in Gaston County. 4 on the list, Belmont has the most gated subdivision in the entire Gaston County. And number 5, small town with a vibrant downtown. A growing downtown, just starting to get some brewery, some restaurants, is growing, a lot of activities, and because of that, Belmont comes as number 1 on my list. Very similar to Matthews, North Carolina, Belmont is known for being a very small, conservative, yet mature town where everybody knows everybody. The median estimated home value in Belmont, based on Realtor Property Resource, is roughly around $458, where the median yearly household income is roughly about $85,000 a year. Belmont is very rich in culture and value. In fact, we love a community in Belmont called the Reflection Point. We almost bought a piece of property in that community. It is a gated community right on Lake Wylie. Just within 2 to 3 mile radius, you have 3 other subdivisions that are all gated right on the lake. Belmont is still flying under the radar, very much so in my opinion, and because of that, the town is still trying to keep Belmont a very private place for its residents. Belmont just have all it takes to feel right at home. The community atmosphere, the sense of belonging, the warm welcome, the friendly vibe, the natural beauty, being that Belmont is situated right along the Catawba River and Lake Wylie. You have a lot of trails, a lot of outdoor activities such as hiking, boating. Location, proximity to the Charlotte Douglas Airport, which is about 10 minutes to downtown Charlotte. 15-20 minute max, you are in downtown Charlotte. And also, in addition to that, Belmont just has some of the best school system in town. Highly ranked school system in Gaston County. I'm a realtor. You do want to do your homework. I can't speak on school. Yeah, based on some of the review and feedback that I received, some past clients, they are very pleased being in Belmont school system. And last but not least, the most important thing that Belmont prides itself on is the low crime rates. So because of those, Belmont is one on top of my list. Belmont just have everything one can feel right at home and still have access to all you need for your family to be comfortable. Now that we have covered all those 5 towns, let me know what you think. Huntersville, Matthew, Waxhaw, Harrisburg, Belmont. Give me your feedback. The last video I did, I got a lot of feedback, so the feedback will help put another video or give you my opinion on other towns to consider moving into Charlotte. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.